We get it. You're a minarchist, but yeah, you're almost starting to sound a bit like a status here lately. This is my video response to your video with Jeff Berwick. Shout out Jeff Berwick. We all get it with the whole minarchism thing, right? But you're gonna have a really think about the kind of people that are gonna be watching the videos that you're talking to. You know, whether it's Jeff or anyone else in the libertarian or the anarcho-capitalism movement, the liberty movement. Yeah, you're not helping your cause a whole lot. You know, to tell you the truth, I was not really impressed at all with what you had to say so far. I've got 26 minutes into the video, and I will finish the rest of the video out. But this video, I'm going to just right here. This is kind of my rebuttal, my take, and my opinion on this whole supporting Rand Paul bullshit. I mean, to me, I mean, when we think about when Ron Paul was running, you know, and you know, when you ask and you talk to most people that are in the liberty movement today, a lot of them, and I mean, I got a lot of my influence from Ron Paul too, so I'm with you. I'm with you there. But what made us jump and dive head first into supporting someone like Ron Paul was it wasn't the fact that he was working inside the system to try to change the system. Most of us, especially once you get to the point where we're at today, realize that that's a completely implausible and almost impossible scenario. I won't say fully impossible because, well, that's, you know, since it's unproven, I can't offer any opinion that would say that it's completely impossible. But let's be honest here. Ron Paul got as much support, genuine support, grassroots support as he did because he talked like an anarchist, more or less, while using not the bully platform per se, but yeah, while using the pulpit or the platform of running through the political process where the media they have to, right? Like Ron Paul, if you're popular enough in polls or you know, with public opinion in the public sphere, or if it's something that the media realizes that they can get lots of attendance or audience from, which Ron Paul was, because he was so radical compared to the typical establishment candidates that he was running against. But once people listened to him, it was the fact that he was going to be blatantly honest, outright, and straightforward with them, even when he knew it wasn't going to be popular, even when he knew it might even go against bringing more people under the fold to support him, his principles. And if you go through his videos, right, so you can go back even 30 years, you know, with Ron Paul, and look, he was talking the same stuff. And I mean, let's be honest here. He has almost basically come out and said that Ron Paul's basically an anarchist, okay? But he used that platform, you know, he picked up that bullhorn of that you're given when you run in the big spectacle of the, you know, it's like going to the Super Bowl. Ron Paul, even if he didn't care a whole shitload for fucking football, you know, if you got a 30-second commercial on the football to rail against football, good for him, right? Rand Paul is not doing that, not even closely. And I can't dig into the mind. And most of us were always trying to guess, is he just trying to be a slippery snake to appeal to the status around him so he can get into the position of power? But I mean, no matter which way most of us that understand things try to play that out in our mind, it's like none of it's going to work out properly, and none of it's actually going to help anything, because the young kids or the ones that are still status in 2015, okay, in 2015, after Ron in 2008, and 2012, and after all that, if there's still status, is Rand Paul the messenger that we want to send out there? Really? I don't see how that's going to appeal. To me, it's like the people that will appeal to him by being a minarchist, they're still going to be status, really. Especially the kind of message he's putting out. Ron Paul was so minarchist to the point where, I mean, think about what they were saying about him. Rand Paul's actually being cozied up and coddled by some even in the media. Some on both sides of the aisle. So it means that, I mean, it sounds good in the political realm that, oh, look, he's getting wider consensus than his dad. But that just means the more you're appealing to the masses, just means that you're that much closer to being a statist, a propagandist, or a control freak or a sociopath. So my measurement the whole time when Ron Paul was running for president of the United States was the more the media hated him, the more I liked him. The more he said things that made sense and was completely anarchistic in nature, the more I respected the man. Rand Paul just looks like another snake oil salesman for the most of it. For most of us in the liberty movements. At this point, this is 2015, man. We've been around long enough now. It's like, yeah, you know, come on. You're not even going to try to throw out, you know, a genuinely old, gray bearded man to pretend he's Santa Claus. What, you going to send a fucking, you know, dark haired, sunglass wearing? No, but I mean, it's a little bit, I'm using some analogies here, but come on. Rand Paul is not going to bring anyone under the fold like his dad did because, first of all, his messaging is wrong. His appeal is almost like, well, lesser of the evils. And I get where you're coming at, Walter. But I think as someone that is supposedly taking the moniker of Mr. Libertarian from Murray, those are some big fucking shoes to fill. If I were you, I'd even risk your career at your university or college, wherever you teach at. Or I'd just shut the fuck up and say, I don't want nothing to do with the boys. Leave me out of it. I'd even respect you for that, Walter. But don't get on here and start talking to Jeff or talking to anarchists, because I seen how that video was played out. If you're going to try to down talk in a degrading manner to people that have already surpassed the minarchist point, that's a thing. Think about what the philosophy of liberty is all about. If you follow that through logically and consistently, you know damn well there's only about, like the old saying goes, the difference between minarchists and anarchists is 6 months. So what, are you looking for those people that are still in that 6 month category that are between minarchism and full anarchism? Because that's the only people you're going to appeal to at this point, and they're still going to, even if you appeal to them at this point, 2016 is next year. Before that happens, they might have already get to the point where they're going to say, fuck you. It's the wrong approach, Walter. But I get what you're trying to do, and it's like, I'm not against you. You're on our side. I get it. You're not my enemy. You know, in the grand scheme of things, you're a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. But you're not being completely straightforward and honest with your audience, with people that want to listen to what you got to say. And when you get to that point, you just sound like someone that's saying, vote for the lesser of the evils. Like I said, if Rand Paul gets the courage and balls up like his dad had, or gets sick and tired of the bullshit and the way they're treating him there in Washington, in D.C., maybe he'll start going on maybe he'll go full libertarian, right? And if he does, then you will see all of us, Jeff, me, Larkin, Stefan, anybody that supports true liberty. Yeah, we got your back, man. We're there for you. And we'll do everything we can humanly possible do to help spread that message. But if you just try to sell this as the lesser evil things, well, yeah, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. I don't even know why you think that it would even be a proper venture. You know, think about it. Think about this in a capitalist, think of this in an economic thing. Would you really want to invest in that now? Really? Really? You might get some small dividends in the immediate future, but in the long run, I think you're going to lose out on that one. Let's stick with what we've made it to this point, and all the real leaders in the libertarian, the anarchist, the voluntarist movement, you know, we've moved beyond that point now. Come up and join us, Walter. You know, hold Rand to account, you know. Maybe his dad puts a little pressure on him too. I don't doubt for a minute. Ron puts a little extra, you know, put a little elbow in there once in a while. Like, come on, Rand. And I'm sure Rand thinks that, hey, listen, Dad, don't worry. Hey, I'm going to change things from the inside. And don't worry, I'm much more. I don't want someone to be snaky. I don't want him to sell out just to, show me how slippery he can be. I don't want that. None of us in the liberty movement want that. We want principles, good values, proper morality, logic and consistency, non-contradictory speeches, non-contradictory principles. That's what we want. So if Rand moves there, yeah, he's already got a grassroots movement that's ready, willing, and able, and chewing on the bit to help you out. But if you keep playing this minarchist bullshit or trying to appeal to the neocons or progressives you'll be left out high and dry for the most part. For most of us anyways. I can't speak for everybody. But I think I'm in touch with the pulse of most people that consider themselves liberty lovers, and I don't think it's going to work out very well. I mean, you appeal to the scaredy little cowardly chicken shits that'll say, okay, well, we better just... That's not going to help you, man. Let's stick with the message, Walter. Let's stick with the message. Let's be principled. Let's hold the line. Let's be steady as it goes. And watch how the cards play out from here on forward. There's no guarantee that anyone's going to win the political process. And to be honest with you, as many people have covered already anyways, I don't want Rand Paul to be the captain of a sinking ship. Who would want to throw someone in that position? And even if he threw his body to cover, if the hole's 10 feet by 12 foot, and you throw one human body at it, you might slow down the leaks, but you're not going to stop the ship from sinking. And I don't want to sacrifice Rand Paul. That's blind altruism to the fullest extent as far as I'm concerned. So I don't want to sell Rand Paul to the devil. I don't want him to be the lesser of the evils, nor do I want him to become the captain of the sinking ship. I want him to send the message, use the platform that he's given, to speak to true principles and philosophy of liberty. But I think that's the best thing we can do at this point. I think that's the most principled approach that we can take. Just my quick little video. Like I said, no real hard feelings to you, Walter. I've watched so much of your stuff. I do have tremendous respect for you. But I'm kind of glad that Jeff kind of called you out a little bit on this stuff, because it's important. It's important that we cover these topics so that everybody's kind of on board and understand where we're all coming from. It's a Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.